Hello, ladies. Today we're going to be learning about the trial balance, the trading and profit and loss account, and the balance sheet. They're all called financial statements. Let me just scroll up. Sometimes it's working. All right. So this question says, from the trial balance of F. Chaplin, who has been in business for 1 year, extract a trading profits and a loss account for the year ended 31st December 2008. A balance sheet is not required. She has been in business for 1 year only. So notice it says a balance sheet is not required. Nonetheless, you will be asked to do some other questions that will require a balance sheet. And so even though the question says a balance sheet is not required, I would go ahead and show you how to do the balance sheet nonetheless. Let's look at the trial balance that we had received. It's already prepared and it's for a period of 1 year. Now, here we have debit and credit on the trial balance, as we know. We have our general expenses. These are some other expenses as well. And then we have motor vehicle creditors, debtors, premises, cash at banking, and capital and drawings. All of that is totaled up or summed up to get the total, which is $536,322 at both columns having the same balance. Now, it's important to always pay attention to the note section. Let me zoom the page up a bit. Hope you can see better. So it's important to always pay attention to the notes section because additional information is always provided for you there most of the times. Here it says that stock at 31st of December 2008 was $4,960. Now, we're going to pay special attention to this because we're going to use it also in the balance sheet. I want you to also note that the reason why I have put some in blue and some in black is just to color code it to make it look different from the information that will be put in the balance sheet. So all this information here in the blue will be placed in the trading and profit and loss account, while everything in the black will be put in the balance sheet. Right, so this is what our trading profit and loss account looks like for F. Chaplin, and this is how we have arrived there. If you were to look at the formats, if you were to look back at the format of the trading and profit and loss account, you would see all this. Of course, some profit and loss accounts, they will show carriage inwards and carriage outwards, return inwards and return outwards. So if it is there, you would also have it there. But based on what we have seen in the trial balance, it does not have return outwards and return inwards or carriage inwards and carriage outwards in the trial balance. So we work with what is on the trial balance. Now, the first thing that we will have in the trading and profit and loss account is sales. Then we'll have less cost of goods sold, purchases, less closing stock, gross profit, less expenses, and all of these items here are expenses. And then we'll have the net profit. Afterwards, we will create the balance sheet. But before we go to the balance sheet, let's see how we got all this information in the trading profit and loss account. Going back to the trial balance here. Again, all these items in the blue, I've color coded them so you can see where we got the figures from, as well as the items that are to be put on the trading profit and loss account. Now, these are all expenses, and so they are debited, with the sales being credited. Go back to the trading and profit and loss account. It says sales is $26,815. Color coded. All we did Here is sales, $26,815. So all we did was just copy this information, this figure for sales, and then we put it back or put it on the trading and profit and loss account under the second column, the dollar sign, or the second column with the dollar sign. All right, and then so now we move on to the second step, which is the less cost of goods sold. Purchases, we have purchases and we have closing stock. Purchases less closing stock means purchases minus or subtract closing stock. So you're going to take away the closing stock from the purchases. This is how we'll find the closing stock. Do you see it in the trial balance? No, it's not there. But the note below says that the stock at the ending of December was $4,960. Again, I've color-coded that as well. So you copy that and you're going to put it here for closing stock. There's an adjustment to be made. So we put the figure here and then the final figure will go in column 2. For our purchases figure, $18,385. Again, it's right here. So we would have gotten the figure from here. Purchases, that's the figure, $18,385. Because the format of the trading profit and loss account says that we're going to less the closing stock from the purchases. So we're going to go ahead and say 18,385, take away $4,960, and what we will be left with is $13,425. Notice we didn't put the answer here, but we put it in the second dollar sign instead. There's nothing else to be added or subtracted from this figure here. So we put the final figure here on the second column. Then we move on, and the next thing we are to do, it says sales less cost of goods sold. So we're going to say we subtracted our closing stock from our purchases, which would be one of our cost of goods sold. So now we're going to say sales minus cost of goods sold equals gross profit. Sales less cost of goods sold equal gross profit. So here we have our sales, and we're going to less the closing, we're going to less the cost of goods sold, which is this figure here. And where we got this from is from subtracting the closing stock from the purchases. So here we have $26,815 minus $13,425, and we're left with $13,390. I deliberately put this figure here in red because red sometimes kind of stands out. And I really wanted you to see. I should have put it in pink. I think this is pink. I should have put it in pink to kind of harmonize with this color here, so you could really see that it's, it's the gross profit. Forward. So there you go. Now it's in the same color as the gross profit. Next thing, we move on to less the expenses. So we're going to find the sum of all the expenses here, and then we're going to subtract it from the gross profit to get our net profit. And let me just repeat. So we're going to find all the expenses here, the total of the expenses, and then we're going to subtract it from the gross profit, which is this figure, so that we can get the net profit. So you just punch into your calculator $3,560 plus 400 plus 735 plus 210 plus $392, and you should get $5,297. What you're going to do now is because the question says the less expenses, so that means you're going to subtract all these from the gross profit. So 13,000, which is the gross profit, $13,390, take away $5,297, and you will be left with $8,093. This figure here that I put highlighted in yellow is the net profit. That's the end of your trading and profit and loss account. Now let us move towards the balance sheet. The question did not ask for a balance sheet. So if you were doing your exam, you would not have created one if the question does not request one. However, for the sake of the activities that you would be asked to do, I will show you it. Oops, too fast. All right, so remember in class, we learned about the format of the balance sheet, and I asked you to memorize the fixed assets, current assets, and so on, and you did. You were able to clearly explain to me what they are, which was really lovely. So now, we're doing the same thing with all the information that we have, which is provided for us here in the trial balance that they gave us. Okay. So our fixed assets, first thing we're going to put is our fixed assets. And our fixed assets are premises and motor vehicle. Where did we get this 20,000 from and this $2,800? Well, if you scroll back up to the trial balance, you will see everything in the black is what I said would be put in the balance sheet. So looking at those information in the black, you'll see premises right here, and premises is for $20,000. And also, you will need to look for, what was the other figure? Motor vehicle. That's another asset, fixed asset, and it's $2,800. So that's where we got the $2,800 and the premises $20,000 from. I'm scrolling back down to the balance sheet. What you will need to do now to get the total fixed assets, as per usual, is to find the sum of $20,000 plus $2,800. When you have received the answer from the calculator, it will be $22,800. You're going to put that answer right beside the motor vehicles, right beside the amount for the motor vehicle. So it won't be below, but beside in the second $sign column. The next step that we do on the balance sheet is the current assets. The first current asset that we have is stock, and then debtors, bank, and cash. To scroll back up to the trial balance, we will see where we got $4,960 for the stock. Remember in that information section that I put in blue color? Here, it says that the stock at the end of December, so that's the closing stock because it's the last day of the month, was $4,960. So this is where we got the stock from. The debtors, bank, and cash are also on the trial balance. And the debtors was $4,090, bank $1,375, and cash was $25. As we did with the fixed assets, when we found the sum of these two figures, we will do the same thing for these four figures. When you put into your calculator these four figures, you should receive $10,450, except we're not going to put this figure under the second $sign column as we did with the fixed assets because we're not finished with it. So let me scroll down. So we put the answer, the total here, under the same $sign or under the same column. We move on now to our current liabilities. In the trial balance, we saw creditors was $5,160. Let me refresh your memory. So I'm scrolling back up to the trial balance, and here we have it. All right, so I just had to zoom up a bit because I'm getting old. So, where were we? I forgot. Oh, we were looking for the creditors, which is $5,160. See, this is where it is. And our debtors figure $4,090, and our cash in and $25 and cash at bank $1,375. So let's scroll back down to the balance sheet. Less current liabilities means, as you know, it means this less means to subtract. So we're going to find the creditors, which is $5,160, and we're going to subtract it from the assets, the total assets, $10,450. Take away 5,160, and you're left with $5,290. Do you see that? Good. This figure right here becomes the net current assets. Now, if you scroll back up a little bit, we have our total fixed assets here, correct? What we're going to do now is to subtract the current liabilities from the total fixed assets. So 22,800, take away $5,290, and we're going to add it. We're going to total it. So we're going to have our 22,800 plus $5,290, and then we'll have $28,090. We all make mistakes, my dear, but so I'm scrolling back down so you can see the rest of the balance sheet. All right, so here we are, financed by capital. What is our capital? How did we get that figure for capital? Again, it's found in the trial balance. Here it is, capital, $24,347. You scroll. Excuse me. You scroll back down to the balance sheet. This balance here at the 1st of January 2008 is the net profit that we would have found when we did the trading profit and loss account. See? This is the trading profit and loss account, and this is the net profit. I specifically highlighted it instead of changing the color of the font. I highlighted it in yellow because we would be using it again in the balance sheet. So this is it, $8,093. We're going to total or find the sum of these two figures. So 24,347 plus $8,093. And that gives us $32,440. And that is gonna be our net profit, our new net profit. Now I want us to be able to subtract the drawings from this figure to see if we'll be able to get back that $28,090 that we got in the first half of the activity. So take your calculator and subtract $4,350 from $32,440. You should be left with $28,090. Notice that both figures here are the same. Sorry. Here and here, the figures are the same. That is what you should get. That's the ending of the trading profit and loss account and the balance sheet. I want for you to do an activity for me. So I'm gonna sign off now. and I'll prepare the activity for you to do. Okay.